Well, on this episode, we're going to review two past events. One from last year that took place on February 20th, which is a promotion I never heard of, but it's kind of interesting. It's called American Lucha Wrestling. Now, some of you are saying, couldn't they call it American Lucha Libre? I would agree with you, but this is their promotion, their rules. And also, we're going to review a recent past event. Well, this one was coming from Ganbare Pro that took place on December 25th of 2021 called Home Alone. Ah! Yes, you heard me right. Home Alone. We had four incredible matches, but the main event features a 8-man elimination match, but also we cannot forget AEW Dark Elevation, and we got some news updates regarding Ric Flair, an interesting debut coming to House of Glory, and many other things. So, let's get started with another episode of the Leader Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Leader Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with American Lucha Wrestling, or as they call it, ALW. This one is called Fight City that took place on the 20th of February of 2021. Now, as you probably think, wait a minute, this is like almost a year ago. True, I never seen this promotion before. This is what the Leader Wrestle Zone is all about. Me to explore new promotions that I never heard of. Well, some who I may have heard the name, but I never had the opportunity to look at it. And I have to say, this was a very different promotion than I anticipated because I would have assumed like any other, like lucha libre style. But there are some features of it, but they're not 100%. That's who I can tell you. But let's go with the first match. We got Axton Ray taking on Jake Hollister. Now I have seen this guy Axton Ray before. I'm just cannot recall where, but I'm assuming somewhere possibly in the East Coast section. So it was a very interesting match, decent, but it was Axton who picked up the victory on this match when he did like a somewhat of a Spanish Fly prototype. I don't know exactly what he was doing, but it was pretty good. I say it was decent. It was a nice match. Next match we have tag team match, and we got Mason Dixon line consistent of Silas Mason and Devon Dixon taking on Vice City Empire, consisting of AJ Kazana and Donovan Daniels. Now, it was a pretty decent match, but much of it, most of it, you see as Mason Dixieland. They're like the one group that is determined to succeed, but they were overcome with the ability of this Vice City Empire. I think it was a pretty good match. I think it was good, but it was I don't know which one was it that picked up the victory, but it was okay. I enjoyed it. Next match, we got Sherman Walker taking on Gustavo Aguilar. Awesome match. I have to say it was pretty good. I have to say when Gustavo pulled off like a somewhat version of the Spanish Fly to Sherman, it did allow him to win. But however, he received an unexpected visit from a guy named Jimmy Lou Renton. I don't know who he was. I don't know what he was thinking on, but it kind of put it in that type of thing. But I don't know. Now, next match, we have Eric Royal, who I've seen him possibly a few times on AEW Dark, taking on Jimmy Lou Renton. I don't know what it was, but this one was a very good match. Uh, I was surprised how this one ended when Eric Royal put Jimmy threw a power bomb, allowing himself to win. But during this, after this, there was a big promo from Jimmy, who in fact spilled his guts out. Like, I get it's because Eric felt he was being disrespected, but however, I guess him finding respect out of Jimmy kind of changed his perspective of what he thought. I thought it was a pretty good promo and all that. Next match we have Jackson Drake versus Sam Beal. Yes, guys, you know who that name is. Sam Beal. We've seen him on Impact. On Impact, it was a pretty good match. I have to say it was great. Um, I just enjoyed it. It was Sam Beal that walked out as the victor, but however, someone that he knows was part of the main event, and we have Jay Malachi taking on Trey Miguel. Great match. I have to say it was pretty good. Jay, on the other hand, from what I understand, he's 16 years. I don't know how old he is right now, but during that time, he's 16 years old. I'm like, whoa, this guy can hang with guys like Trey Miguel. I thought it was pretty good, and I was amazed. But it was Trey Miguel that put up the Meteora onto him, and blammo, 1, 2, 3. Now, what did I thought about this show? I give this one a 6.5. I feel like they could have done better because of the name, but I don't know. It was pretty good, but the only thing is, not a lot of wrestlers I may have seen, but that's how it is. So I give this a 6.5. It was pretty good, but yeah. So right now, I think it's time for us to go to Ganbare Pro. Okay, so we got Ganbare Pro with Home Alone 2021 that took place on the 25th of December of 2021, and this was on the Shin-Kiba First Ring, legend, awesome venue. Four matches. I mentioned this before. Balinaki was involved with two events. This is one of them right now. So let's get to it right now. The first match is Jun Tonsho taking on what's his hold on, I'm writing Shuchino Tominaga. It was a pretty good match. I think it was decent. Not a great one, but it was decent enough. But it was Tominaga that walked out the victory with a quick 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Excuse me. Next match, we have the ladies taking the stage. We have six-woman tag team match. We got Yuri, Miku Arnoa, Yuna uh, Manaze taking on Misa Matsui, Arukaze, and Moka Maruhi. It was a pretty good match, but however, in this one, um, Arukaze actually put Yuri in the armbar on various occasions. The armbar has always been her strong point, but however, Yuri did pick it up, but however, at certain point, it wasn't good enough for her to get away. It did force her to tap out in order to give, but Yuna's not a very happy camper, even though Yuri is under her wing. So that kind of puts it in a very predicament. Next match, we got Nobuhito Shimatani teaming up with none other than Balinaki, taking on the new tag team known as Romance Dawn, consisting of Shota and Somatokop. This was a very interesting match. I think Romance Dawn is a pretty good team, very solid. Like these guys are now making a name for themselves. I think it was pretty good. I think I like it. But however, it was Shota who walked out here as the victor, allowing himself and his team to win the 1, 2, 3. Now our next match is an 8-man tag team elimination match. Now I'm not gonna tell you how the elimination go, but I can tell you what I think of it. But here's who was involved. We got Mizuki Watanabe, Saiya Morohashi, um, Sushi Katsumura, and Keisuke Ishii taking on Tyson Maiguchi, Toki Iwasaki, Yomehiro Inamari, and Ken Oka. I thought it was a good match. Majority of the time, Ken Oka stayed out of it because he's the primary target. But some others did came into foul and they were eliminated. But however, it was Ken Okada was able to pick up the victory when he pinned Mizuki Wanase. I thought it was a great match. It was good. And I think I like it. So pretty much it was okay. So I believe right now it's time for AEW Dark Elevation. Okay, the last review I got for all of you is AEW Dark Elevation. It opened up with Lance Archer dragging the opponent down on the ring, Chase Oliver. But you can guess right away this ended quickly when he put him in the blackout, and that was it. But he did put out a interesting promo that he's not there to please the fans. He's there for himself, and of course, we all know what his target is the AEW World Championship. That is on his mind. Next up, we got women's action. We got Kylie King taking on Brandy Rhodes. I thought this match was okay, but however, we have Arn Anderson being there as a coach, but you can guess that Brandy is not following the plan that much. There were some moments that she could have lost, but until Brandy applied the brand new signature submission to Stretch, it filled out great for her to tap out. Next up, we got Jay Lethal taking on Casey Carrington. It was a pretty fun match. It was good. I have to say, Jay Lethal is one of those wrestlers we definitely can't get behind. But however, he did put up the lethal injection to win the match. Next up, we got the Queen Slayer herself, Anna Jay, taking on Nikki Victory, and it was a pretty good match. But however, you can guess that Anna put her out with the sleeper. I thought it was great. Next up, we got the factory consisting of Aaron Solo, Nick Comoroto, and QT Marshall, along with Anthony Gogo, taking on Lee Moriarty, Dante Martin, and Matt Sydal. Now, at some point of the match, Anthony Gogo was there watching, supporting his team, but he screwed up and he decided to interfere, and the ref saw it and he kicked him out. It was a pretty good match until Dante was the one who picked up a very good decisive victory for his team. Next up, this is a very interesting duo, Thunder Rosa versus Ruby Soho. I have to say it was great. Their opponents is Jocelyn Navarro versus Megan Myers. I have to say their teamwork has been very interesting. I would love to see these two team up down the line more than we anticipate. But yeah. But however, as soon as Thunder Rosa finished off with the Thunder Fire driver, Mercedes Martinez shows up, and this is a stare down, but you can guess how it's gonna be. Now our main event is Serpentico taking on Penta. This was a fun match, because you know how Serpentico is. There's a lot of comedian coming out of this guy, but it was great. But you can guess that it was Penta that walked out as the victor and allowing himself to win the match. So, I think that's pretty much it. What we got for this segment. I think it's time for me to do some news updates. Okay, so here are some news updates. This one is a very exciting news. As you know, May 23rd is a special day for all of us, but at the same time, it's also a tragic day. If you guys don't know what this is the second year anniversary of the passing of none other than Hana Kimura. It was saddening to hear about what happened to her. She didn't deserve to go this way, being pushed into suicide and that kind of thing. But last year, her mother, Kyoko Kimura, put out a pretty good show called the Hana Kimura Matinee Show. I thought this show was great, huge success. I wasn't thinking if there was going to be another one, but looks like it has been confirmed on that very day, the 23rd of May, at Corkin Hall. No announcements on the on who's going to participate, but they did say that if you're in Japan right now, tickets go on sale on the 17th. I think, yeah. But I'll pay attention to this more. Now, our next update, we have Alex Shelley of the Motor City Machine Guns making his debut at House of Glory, taking on the world champion, and that would be Hangman. No, oh, I mean, my bad. Alex Shelley will be making his debut at House of Glory, taking on Low-Key for the Crown Jewel Championship. Sorry, my writing is a little messed up. So this is going to be good. Now, these two gentlemen are familiar with each other. They have faced each other before in TNA, so it's going to be interesting to watch. Now, interesting news, Ric Flair has announced that he and his wife, Wendy Barlow, are currently separated. It's still unclear what caused the separation, but he did request by fans if he could just respect the privacy, and that's exactly what possibly we should do. But our last update comes in is Chase Owens. Now, this happened today on the 31st of January of 2022. It appears that his contract is up with New Japan, so he's facing an unknown future. We know he wanted to win one championship in New Japan, but we just don't know if that ever will happen. But we'll see what happens. We will stick a pin on this and move on from there. So I believe it's time for us to call it a day. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Coming up, we got, of course, Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling Explosion coming up with Sky High, which I'm excited. This took place on, of course, the 10th of on October 24th of 2021. We even got, of course, the rest of Tuesday wrestling shows. We got NWA, AEW Dark, and of course, we cannot forget NXT 2.0. So all of that will be on the next episode. But right now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.